Hey guys, what's going on? Andy here. I'm the instructor at the Bojutsu Hakubai-kan dojo here in Mississauga, Ontario. So before we get to today's video, just a brief update on our dojo situation. So just like it's been past 3-ish months or so, the dojo is going to remain closed. Practice is going to remain canceled until further notice. We haven't really been given a solid date as to when we can open back up, but we're hopeful it's going to be sometime in August or September. That is something to look forward to. The dojo is currently closed for renovations, so here I am in the backyard to do some filming for us. With that out of the way, let's get to the topic of today's video. Okay, so before we get started, everybody go ahead and go grab their bowl. If you happen to have a jo, broomstick, piece of dowel even lying around, you are going to need that to be practicing all of this stuff. So, before we actually get to work, you are going to take your stick of choice and quickly go into the reho, bow, and then when bowing to your instructor, bowing to your partners, the tip of that staff is slightly off the line. Feet are together, everything is exactly the same except you have a stick in your hand. Okay, so first thing that I'm going to get to is called Kamae no Kata. So kata is a sequence of movements that teach you how to move in that particular style. Kamae no Kata is a sequence made up of the various stances when practicing Bojutsu. So, to start, we're going to have our feet about shoulder width apart, knees slightly bent, and I want to hold the staff in approximately equal thirds. So I have my hands in such a way where I have 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3. Everything's just nice and relaxed. That's sitting right down, pretty much right at the top of my thigh there. And this is called Hira Ichimonji no Kamae. So to begin Kamae no Kata, we're going to start from Hira Ichimonji no Kamae. We're going to shift straight back. Doesn't matter which side you start on, so you have to do both sides anyway. To get to Yoko Ichimonji no Kamae. Now, only difference here, everything's still nice and relaxed, but just like Ichimonji no Kamae or Seigan no Kamae, empty-handed, your weight is on the back leg. So this is Yoko Ichimonji no Kamae. From Yoko Ichimonji, you're going to keep the point, the staff on the line, and you're just going to bring that rear hand up, right above that temple. For Jodan no Kamae, from Jodan, you're going to tuck it straight down, right underneath the arm, still pointing right down the center. Shudan no Kamae. Next up is Gedan no Kamae. Just going to pull that straight back. The tip is going to come to rest on the ground here. I kind of have it a little off of a ledge, so it's a little lower than it needs to be, but otherwise it's just sitting right on the ground. Gedan, we're going to transition to Heito no Kamae, just exact same stance, bringing the tip 90 degrees towards your back. From Heito, you're going to bring it up, and this stance is going to be very important later. Tenchijin no Kamae, nice and tall. My forearm is flat against the staff, and the bottom is sitting just about my knee, so I have a nice tall stance here. Then to finish off, I'm going to take a step back. You're going to shift into Seigan no Kamae. So once more, I'm going to do the opposite side, but a little slower this time. So, Hira Ichimonji, Yoko Ichimonji, Jodan, Shudan, Gedan, Heito, Tenchijin, and Seigan. So before we move on to strikes, there is one small but very important thing that I would like to address, and that is what is going on with the hands. So just like working empty-handed or with any other type of weapon, anything that involves gripping or striking, right? The pressure of the hands is going to be, it's dynamic, it's always changing, right? You never want to have such a death grip on the thing that you can't move it, but you don't want so soft of a grip that as soon as something makes contact, it's going to flip the weapon right out of your hands, right? So it's really important to learn really where to be relaxed and where to be tense so that you can get this really nice, smooth sliding action. And with that, the one other thing I wanted to address here was a transition from Judan no Kamae to Gedan no Kamae in Kamae no Kata. So I'm going to stand kind of at a 45 here, make it a little easier to see. So if we start up here in Judan no Kamae, so this isn't necessarily wrong or right. It's a matter of who's teaching and also personal preference. This is just the way that I teach it. But from Judan no Kamae, when you pull the bow down into Gedan no Kamae, so if you look at my front hand here, my left hand, I have this palm down orientation here. At our dojo, I prefer to flip it over. So as you're pulling it back, I'm not letting go of the bow, but I'm pulling, I'm just letting it rotate around the end, and it basically stays that way, going to Heito, going up to Tenshijin, etc., etc. So I prefer palm up, but palm down isn't necessarily wrong. I've seen this taught. It's totally fine doing it this way. We just happen to do it this way at our place, so I just wanted to get that out of the way real quick. All right, so fun time. Get to throw some strikes down. So we've already gone through Kamae no Kata, so that gives us a nice foundation of stances to work on. Now it's just a matter of how do we move from those stances. So the first strike we're going to learn, especially if you've seen all the previous videos, is non-surprisingly tsuki. The tsuki that you see in our Taijutsu, in the empty-handed work, comes almost pretty much directly from the work of pole arms. So especially the bow and the yari, right, the spear, is where this comes from, because it basically looks exactly the same. So to begin tsuki, we're going to start in Hida Ichi Manchi no Kamae, and we're going to transition into Seigan no Kamae. So to do that, I'm going to pick a hand, bring it up, place my left hand on top, left foot then moves backwards. I want to clear the way for the staff to move. So, neat, sliding of the hands, right? Bottom hand comes up, top hand opens, rotates, slides all the way down as I take my kamae. Right here. Okay, so we're going to do that one more time. I'm going to do it on the right side this time. So, neat, sun. Now, this is where it's really important. If you move your leg first and then the staff, I'm going to clock myself in the knee. So as I'm sliding, I want to move the staff first, and then I can move the rest of my body into position there so that I don't get in the way of the weapon. But from Seigan no Kamae, tsuki is super simple. I have a little bit of length right here behind me. I'm going to slide that rear hand all the way down. Should be able to feel the edge of the bowl with my pinky. And I'm just going to shift my weight forward, thrust that rear hand through, nice and relaxed on the front hand so I can slide it through, and come in for tsuki. Now, notice where my rear hand stops, right? I'm stopping pretty much right at my belly button in the middle of my body. For the more advanced and the intermediate techniques, some of them you want to be able to come all the way through, a lot further, but for the beginners, just keep in mind the further the weapon is from your body, less control you have. So stop it right in the middle, come back, and you can repeat this, especially if you have a target in front of you, over and over. So that is tsuki. Now, after tsuki, we have ashibarai. So ashibarai, and the next few strikes are going to be thrown from Gedan no Kamae. Really simple to get from Seigan to Gedan. So starting again from Hita Ichimonji, I'm going to take my Seigan no Kamae, and then I'm just going to pull the staff behind me. So this brings me into Gedan no Kamae. Ashibarai, barai means, harai means to sweep, so it's a very large sweeping type of strike, right? Almost like you have a giant broom and you're sweeping the floor. And I'm aiming primarily for the ankle, and I'm aiming for the knee. So I'm going to shift my weight forward from Gedan no Kamae, making sure the tip of the staff stays hidden behind me so I can hide the length. And I'm going to shift, full cross step all the way through. And I'm just going to let that strike arc out and just really sweep all the way through for a nice, powerful strike. And notice the orientation of my hands, you know, the hand placement. My rear hand is nice and strong, planted against my sternum. And my front hand, just like with ski, is not locked, but it is as fully extended as I can get it. There is a little bit of give in the elbow still. Okay, but after you finish this strike, you can push forward, flip, and then bring it back into Gedan for another strike. Now, building off of Ashibarai, we have Douchi. So Douchi starts in the exact same place. You're going to start in Gedan no Kamae, and only difference now is the targeting. A do, especially for you kendo guys out there, do is your torso, right? So this is going to be a strike aimed at the ribs. You're going to start in Gedan no Kamae, shift forward, full step all the way through, and a nice sweeping strike to the side of the body. Then you can flip, shift, and repeat all over again. Okay, so we have, now that we've gotten through that, everything's going to go a little bit quicker, right? Because pretty much the rest of these are starting from the same place, same mechanics, different target. Next we have Yokomen Uchi. So Yokomen, side of the head, Uchi means to strike. You're hitting someone on the side of the head. So starting again from Gedan, you're going to shift forward, full step all the way through once again, strike to the side of the head. Now notice it didn't arc over top, but rather it started kind of low, like Ashibarai, and then swoop straight up to hit the side of the head or the chin, right? So that is going to abruptly change direction and come up and strike the target. And once again, you can flip, move back, and do the exact same thing all over again. Now, next one's going to be a little funky. It is also Yokomen Uchi, different hand orientation. So Yokomen that we just did, you see the orientation here, right, with the hands. The next one we're going to do is over top. So palm up orientation, right, referring to the front hand, but this time instead of Gedan, we're going to start from Jodan no Kamae. So here, for my Jodan no Kamae, there is one little difference here. I'm going to slide my rear hand all the way to the end and flip it over. So now it's pointing, my palm is pointed towards my back. So to do Yokomen Uchi from here, essentially I'm just going to throw this right in front of my head. My hands are going to slide over top, and I'm just going to catch it right at the very end. It should feel very similar to swinging a sword. So from here, I'm just going to shift straight through. I'm not going to step, I'm just going to shift my weight forward, maybe add a little shuffle to get some more range for Yokomen Uchi. Okay, once more for Yokomen. The last strike that we're going to do, we're going to go back to starting from Gedan no Kamae, is Shomen Uchi. So just like Yokomen, it's a strike to the head, but this time dead center, right? Not to the sides. I am basically aiming to crack somebody right in the middle of the forehead. So starting from Gedan no Kamae, once again, shift forward, keep the staff behind you, cross step all the way through, and this time it's not going to come out, it's not going to arc this way, it's going to come straight over the top, right? Try to keep the elbows in for this one. I'm going to step straight through. It's going to land right in front of the head. From here I can shift back, and do the exact same thing. All right. So the last thing I'm going to throw in, just as a little bonus, because we are going to turn all of this into a drill, is, non-surprisingly, a second Shomenuchi. Just like with the Yokomen, you can chain one into another. So if you want to start from Gedan just to get the full movement going, go ahead. If you want to isolate it, you can start from a preloaded position here. So I've just struck Shomenuchi from here. If I want to strike another Shomenuchi with a different hand orientation, I'm going to pull the staff back. As I shift my weight backwards and pull the staff, I'm just going to flip it over. And allow that to come into Seigan no Kamae for a second Shomenuchi. So it's more on the other side this time. So I've just hit Shomenuchi here. I'm going to shift back. And I'm just going to throw the end of that staff all the way to the end. So this is one of those kinds of exceptions as far as techniques is concerned, when you do actually want to let go of the weapon, right? Because this little flip, you throw it with the rear hand, gives you a little bit of extra momentum to hit them with a stronger strike. Okay, now we've done those all separately. Let's put them together into a drill now. So we're going to start in Seigan no Kamae, and we're going to do it in the exact same order that we did separately. So I'm going to take Seigan no Kamae. The first three strikes are going to all be tsuki, varying elevations, right? So I'm going to aim for the head, the chest, and then down low. So itsu, ni, sa. Okay, then from here I can step forward, I can step up. As I step up, staff comes vertical, then I can switch to the other side, right? Because this is all about getting everything evened out, practicing on both sides, getting familiar with it. So once again, itsu, ni, sa. And then come back into Seigan. So important here is that it's not the rear hand that controls where the staff is striking, it is the front hand. So if I want to start up high and then bring it down low, all I have to do is just drop that front hand a little bit, right? We've done 3 tsuki on both sides. Ashibarai. Switch. Douchi. Yokomen, except this time we're going to chain both Yokomen together. So, Yokomen, palm down, shift back into Jodan, swing, Yokomen a second time. Back into Gedan, step through. Yokomen, shift back, Yokomen, shift back into Gedan. Last two, it's going to be 2 Shomenuchi in a row. One palm up, one palm down. So, step, Shomen, pull, throw, and then shift back into Seigan no Kamae, come back into Gedan, forward, up, pull, throw, and catch. Hey guys, so here we are, getting right to the end. So, I know this one has run a little bit long, but it can't be introduction to Bojutsu without probably one of the most important and also impressive looking techniques, Bofurigata, or the spinning of the bull. So, just to show you what it looks like first, right? Our end goal is to get a nice smooth backspin going here. I can do this in place, I can do this moving forwards, I can do this moving backwards, right? I can rotate different direction, etc., etc., right? Start increasing speed as you go, but this is our end goal. So the question is now, how do we get there? The way that we teach Bofurigata in our dojo starts from Tenchijin no Kamae. So taking Tenchijin no Kamae here just as a start. So this is a good way to start getting used to the transitions. So you're starting from Tenchijin, bottom hand's gonna drop all the way down as far as you can, and you're gonna come up almost like you're shooting a game of pool or you're aiming down the sights of a rifle. Right, so here my weight is shifted forward. I'm gonna step through, strike, flip up, and then back on the other side, right? Tenchijin once again, and I'm just gonna repeat, excuse me, that exact same thing until I can get that transition nice and smooth. Once I've gotten that smoothed out a little bit, you're gonna add a spin. So forward, strike. Now instead of switching straight back into Tenchijin, I'm gonna add an extra spin and then catch it right at the end in Tenchijin. Just like that. Now, at the beginning, it is a little more important to finish that strike first, right? So don't worry about shorting it so that you can go directly to the spin. Finish that strike, then you can flip the bow and give it a little spin. Once you get a little more used to that, once again, starting Tenchijin, start shorting out your strikes a little bit. So forward, step, right? And I'm just flipping that straight up, right? You can either flip it and transition back to Tenchijin on the other side, or to get a little bit closer to what Bofurigata should be, shorting it and then adding that extra spin from there. And then after that, it's really all about how the body's moving around the staff and just getting that nice, simple rotation, just learning where the hand should be moving, right? Getting from here to giving it a little more juice, a little smoother, and you have your nice, clean Bofurigata. So there is also a forward spin. We're not really going to cover that in this video. I will make a future video that is going to be a little more intermediate slash advanced type techniques, right? In regards to not just empty-handed, but also some of the weapons work. Yep, so that covers all the Bojutsu that we will do today. Hey guys, so that brings us to the end of Bojutsu 101. So I hope everybody enjoyed the video, learned a little bit of something from it, and for everybody that is, maybe not so much of a beginner, hope you got at least a good refresher out of that. I will, continue filming videos, putting them up. Still playing around with the editing, the video format a little bit, but I think otherwise I kind of am starting to get my style down a little bit. So we've covered the bow. The second basic weapon that everybody wants to learn is the sword. So Kenjutsu 101 is going to be my next video. If you like what you guys, if you guys like what you're seeing, consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. You can also check our dojo page out, Hakubaidojo.com. You can find us also on Facebook. /Saga Taijutsu, or just type in Bujinkan Hakubai-kan Dojo Miss Saga. I do want to make one small correction before I forget. Our Instagram page, I will change and add annotations in all my previous YouTube videos, but it is my Instagram tag is Hakubai-kan Dojo on Instagram, and that is where I upload a majority of my short clips and a lot of, just little snapshots into our life here at the dojo. So once again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.